Hi, welcome to the Fact Series. A new episode is released every week, so be sure to check back often. Like and subscribe to get notified of every video. Also check other series released once a week. Today's fact is about the 10 weirdest things found underwater. From evidence of alien life hidden under the Baltic Sea to this mysterious image of a dozen people appearing to form a circle at the bottom of an ocean. 1. A treasure under the cliffs of the Greek island of Antikythera. If I tell you Olympia, Parthenon, the sanctuary of Asclepius or Agora, you are probably thinking of Greece. This country, which is still considered the cradle of civilization, is home to countless treasures, dating back to the period of ancient Greece. But did you know that even Greek waters are full of riches dating back to antiquity? It was discovered by sponge fishermen in 1900. Today, we are going to show you some very strange things found underwater. Since then, each new exploration or excavation has unearthed more precious objects than the others. A real treasure. Recently, 50 artifacts, glassware, an ivory flute, a bronze armrest believed to have been part of a throne, and ceramic jugs were found at this ancient site. But the Antikythera machine, a kind of ancestor of the computer, remains the most priceless object recovered from this wreck. The very great Jacques Cousteau even discovered and recovered more than 100 antiquities there in 1976. Strange things that are rarely found underwater. However, this underwater archaeological site has not yet revealed all its secrets. But scientists are counting on new technologies to have more information on the origins of this ship during future expeditions and perhaps to recover other hidden treasures. 2. A very bizarre thing found underwater. The dolphin is undoubtedly the most intelligent marine species and the most pleasant with the human being. It is best known for having exceptional vision and for its echolocation system. Precisely, its active sonar allows this ocean mammal to detect the slightest relief in its environment, which makes the discovery of a dolphin skeleton trapped in Tranamine Reef off the Isles of Scilly that I'm about to tell you about now a fact of unparalleled rarity. A strange discovery. A diver found this weird thing underwater in the summer of 2018, thanks to an underwater camera exploring the beautiful Tranamine Reef, and it is only when he reaches 38 meters deep that he sees this huge skeleton stuck under a large rock. We still wonder how this poor dolphin ended up under the reef, and unfortunately I believe that this mystery will probably remain unanswered. 3. Skeletons sitting on chairs. Imagine snorkeling in Arizona in a paradise setting near the Cienega Springs boat launch on the Colorado River in the United States. It was precisely in these circumstances that a young diver came across 2 human skeletons sitting on plastic lawn chairs on May 4, 2015, around 10 a.m. who seemed to be quietly having a tea. The police are investigating this strange discovery. This appalling discovery prompted him to get out of the water very quickly to call the police. Very quickly, the sheriff of the county of La Paz, accompanied by firefighters divers, moved on the spot. Once the first investigator was underwater, he was able to film this scene straight out of a horror movie of 2 skeletons who seemed to be having an underwater snack. He even took his courage in both hands and approached a little closer before discovering that it was a prank in bad taste, a fan of the 1989 film Weekend at Bernie's. Indeed, the skeletons are plastic, and one of them is holding a sign on which one wrote, "Bernie lives the dream in the river." Our divers and the police still spend a bad quarter of an hour before realizing that it was only a joke. This discovery will have aroused more fear than harm. 4. Strange discovery in Lake Michigan. Surely you know Stonehenge. This English archaeological site consists of huge stones that stand upright in a circle without cement or mortar, and whose secret has still not been revealed. But did you know that a similar structure was found in 2007? It was 12 meters deep under the Grand Traverse Bay of Lake Michigan in the United States. Scientists who discovered this bizarre thing underwater did not expect at all to come across an exceptional prehistoric site, probably dating back more than 9,000 years. Basically, they were looking for wrecks using new generation sonars. The latest explorations have revealed on one of the stones a sculpture in the shape of a mastodon, a species extinct more than 10,000 years ago. Archaeologists and petroglyph experts have put forward several hypotheses as to the extinct peoples who erected this surprising edifice, but we haven't confirmed anything so far. What is certain is that the submerged American Stonehenge has one thing in common with the British Stonehenge: the two have not yet revealed all their secrets. 5. Have you ever seen black smokers? You must have already seen images of thick, black smoke emerging from volcanoes. But did you know that a similar phenomenon exists in the dark depths of the oceans? Discoveries made in the oceans never cease to amaze us, and with technological advances, explorations are carried out more and more in depth, up to more than tens of kilometers under the surface, in the most total darkness. And that's how we discovered black smokers, also called hydrothermal vents. Weird things you rarely find underwater. This amazing natural phenomenon takes place when hot and acidic fluids escape from underwater volcanic areas to come into contact with the much colder water of the sea. This brings to life a breathtaking aquatic spectacle. And although the waters near the black hydrothermal vents are extremely acidic, they constitute the base of certain independent ecosystems and in total autarky of solar energy. Surely you wonder how life can find its place in waters mortified by acid. Imagine that certain bacteria called extremophiles draw their energy directly from the hydrogen sulfide emitted by black smokers. These bacteria are then eaten by crustaceans, mollusks, and fish. This makes black smokers an integral and necessary part of the preservation of marine ecosystems. 6. A car graveyard, what a strange discovery. Greece has some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, and the Greek village of Lagrina is no exception to this rule. On the surface at least, because in depth it is another pair of sleeves, the beautiful sea of Lagrina hides one of the largest submerged tar cemeteries. The oceans do not only hide treasures. At first glance, the paradisiacal landscape of the Lagrina coast did not at all suggest that it concealed a huge dump of cars. This aquatic junkyard contains a good number of automobiles from several eras and with makes and models from the most common to the most rare and classic. You also wonder how all these cars ended up in this unlikely place. Well, the mystery remains intact. No explanation has been given. The most curious have nevertheless made this underwater cemetery an essential and, to say the least, unusual diving spot. 7. Bizarre thing found underwater in the Baltic Sea. If I tell you Area 51 or the Little Green Men, you must be thinking of an extraterrestrial life form. Some firmly believe in it, others are much more skeptical. But perhaps evidence of alien life could be lurking much further afield in the Baltic Sea between Sweden and Finland. Indeed, the Swedish team of Ocean X, underwater treasure hunters, would have fallen in 2011 during a sonar scan on a circular construction of more than 60 meters in diameter. The most surprising is that this structure does not seem to be the product of nature because it would contain ramps and stairs as well as several other mysterious elements. The image captured by the sonar looks exactly like a UFO crashed and buried under the Baltic Sea. The truth is elsewhere. In 2012, Ocean X organized another expedition to the bottom of the Baltic Sea to explore this mysterious structure. Unfortunately, the divers were unable to take photos, but they were able to take samples to hand over to geology professor Volker Burchard. This one broke the myth and concluded that these stones were none other than granites, gneisses, and sandstones. Nothing to do then with an extraterrestrial ship. However, the images of the Baltic Sea anomaly remain surprising and arouse the curiosity of the entire internet. And until further research and exploration has been conducted, no hypothesis is excluded for these bizarre things found underwater. And as Agents Mulder and Scully would say, the truth is out there. 8. An artificial reef of abandoned tires. Mega rubber coral reef. The idea may seem unusual or even ridiculous. But in 1970, this bad idea of the Broward Artificial Reef Association seemed innovative and ecological. At the time, the idea was to place the 2 million used tires that were piling up in Florida landfills about 20 meters deep off Fort Lauderdale. This disastrous initiative started from a good intention. The objective was to create an artificial reef in tires of the name of Osborne Reef. And in 1970, when recycling meant almost nothing and knowledge about coral reefs was very limited, everyone was convinced that corals would attach and thrive on tires. This initiative was so well received that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company had done everything possible to make this project a success. We even dropped off a tire painted gold to inaugurate the site. Gotta get those tires. Today, this underwater tire graveyard constitutes an ecological disaster, since the tires moved by the hurricanes destroy the natural reefs nearby. Several attempts have been made since 2001, and to date to recover these tires from the waters of Fort Lauderdale, but the task looks tough. With more than 20 years of cleaning, 700,000 tires still rest peacefully under Florida waters. Thus, by this stroke of genius of the boomers was born an ecological disaster. It is up to current and future generations to find a solution. 9. pills that date back 2,000 years. The image we have of medicine and ancestral medication is often murky or even barbaric. Did you know that historical remedies weren't limited to healing leeches, incense, wacky incantations, and bloodletting? It is precisely at the bottom of the oceans that we learn more about the drugs of yesteryear. Specifically, in the bowels of a 2,000-year-old shipwreck found in Tuscan waters in Italy. The researchers discovered there the remains of a pharmacy dating back to more than 120 years before Christ. An old underwater pharmacy. This pharmacy contains 136 wooden and pewter medicine bottles, as well as medicines in the form of tablets, hues, or pills, and with various and varied compositions. Some pills contain more than a dozen different plant extracts, others pine resin, starch, zinc, or even vegetables, and whose preparation suggests that they could have cured several diseases, for example, ophthalmic affections, as well as gastrointestinal disorders. The study of this underwater pharmacy continues to deliver secrets on what was the medication before our era, and contrary to popular belief, it was effective against several ailments and especially complex formulas. 10. Unusual sculptures in the Caribbean. While browsing the internet, you have surely come across a photo of a magnificent submerged sculpture, of a circle of children holding hands and on which nature seems to have taken over. You are probably wondering, where is this surprising building, what era does it date from, and what is its history? Imagine that this sculpture is very recent and much more contemporary than you can imagine. This is a unique piece of art found off the Caribbean island of Grenada, made in 2006 by British Guyanese sculptor Jason Descaires Taylor. This artist, who loves scuba diving, has made submerged sculptures his trademark. The truth about those weird things underwater. It has more than 600 works representing human beings in different postures, animals, as well as various everyday objects exhibited under the oceans around the world, especially in the coasts of Mexico, the Bahamas, and the West Indies. We made these extraordinary sculptures out of ecological concrete. This makes them artificial reefs serving as a habitat for marine fauna and flora. Apart from the undeniable beauty of these modern monuments, they also have a strong message to convey, which is none other than to confront us with the devastation caused by man on nature. All this makes this artistic project in perpetual interaction with nature, a magnificent representation combining beauty, awareness, and practicality. Tell us in the comments which of these weird things discovered underwater surprise you the most. I hope you enjoyed today's fact. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.